You know what coprimes are? Coprime or relatively prime. When are two numbers A and B coprime? Yeah, when they have no factor other than 1 in common. That's when they are referred to as coprime, right? Now, which really means if they have no factor other than 1 in common, their HCF must be 1. Their HCF must be 1. So, two numbers are coprime or relatively prime if the only common factor that they have is 1. HCF of A and B then is 1. HCF or GCD of A and B is 1. That's when they are said to be relatively prime, right? 3 and 20 are relatively prime, right? The only factor that they have in common is 1. Now, suppose, the other thing I expect you to know is to be able to express any number as a product of powers of primes. Given any number, see for example 20, you can express at 2 squared into 5. Product of powers of primes 2 and 5. 2 squared into 5. Right? So, I hope all of you know how to express any number as a product of powers of primes. Suppose I give you a number n which is say 2 cube 3 to power 4 5 squared. Suppose I give you this number. Oh, sorry. Suppose I give you this number n, which is 2 cube 3 to power 4 5 squared. Okay. And what I want to find is the number of numbers up to n that are co-prime with n or relatively prime with n. I want to find the number of numbers up to n that are co-prime with n or relatively prime with n. Number of numbers up to n, how many natural numbers exist up to n that have no factor other than 1 in common with n? That's what I want to find, right? Now, let me just find the complement of this problem. In the sense, let me find out how many numbers are there up to n in all, n numbers, right? From these n numbers, let me remove the number of numbers that are not co-prime with n. Number of numbers that are not co-prime with n. Let me find out those numbers, right? Then I'll get those that are co-prime with n, right? Now, first of all those numbers that have a factor 2 or a factor 3 or a factor 5 up to n will not be co-prime with n, right? Those numbers that have a factor 2 or a factor 3 or a factor 5 will not be co-prime with n, yes or no? Yes, right? So let me find out those numbers that are not co-prime with n, right? So now number of numbers up to n that are number of numbers up to n having a factor 2 means that are divisible by 2, those that are divisible by 2, right? up to n that are divisible by 2. That means we'll have a factor 2 is n by 2. Yes or no? Number of numbers up to 100 that are divisible by 2. 100 by 2, isn't it? अरे ससुरा n या तो 2 फैक्टर दिख ही रहा है. It has to be, n has to be divisible by 2. So let me call that n2, number of numbers that are divisible by 2. Let me call that n2. That will be n by 2, right? Number of numbers again up to n divisible. See, this is the other common factor, 3. Divisible by 3 is n3. That's going to be n by 3. N has to be divisible by 3. See, this is the other common factor. Yes or no? It's going to be n by 3. Number of numbers up to n that are divisible by 3 is going to be n by 3. Similarly, number of numbers up to n that are divisible by 5. Designate that as n5. That's going to be n by 5. Right? Now, number of numbers up to n that are divisible by 2 and 3. Those will also not be co-prime with n. Would be what? n, 2 and 3. That's going to be n by 6. 3 and 5. n by 15. Number of numbers up to n that are divisible by 2 and 5. That means divisible by 10 is going to be n by 10. Yes or no? Number of numbers divisible by 2 and 3 and 5 would be n, 2 and 3 and 5. That means those that are divisible by 30, those that are divisible by 30 is going to be n by 30. Yes or no? Okay. Now, so far so good, right? Can I just remove the clutter from here? So now, number of numbers n, 2 or 3 or 5. That means this would give me what? Number of numbers that are divisible by either 2 or 3 or 5. That means at least one of them. Right? If they are divisible by 2 or 3 or 5, at least one of them, they will not be co-prime with n. They will not be co-prime with n. Yes or no? Right? So this is n2 from principle of inclusion, n3 plus n5 minus n, 2 and 3, 2 and 5, 3 and 5. Yes or no? Right? Plus n, 2 and 3 and 5. Right? Those that are divisible by 2 and 3 and 5. Right? This would give me the number of numbers up to n that are divisible by 2 or 3 or 5. Right? So these would be the numbers that are not co-prime with n. Not co-prime with n. Because they would either have a factor 2 or 3 or 5 in common with n. Yes or no? Now, can I wipe this off? Or 3 or 5 is n2, like I said, is n by 2. This is capital N by 3. This is capital N by 5. Right? So this is n. half plus 1/3 plus 1/5 is the first set of numbers. Half plus 1/3 plus 1/5. N2, refer to the previous step. N2 is capital N by 2, number of numbers divisible by 2. Number of numbers divisible by 3 is n by 3. Number of numbers divisible by 5 is n by 5. The second set of numbers is minus n into 1 by 2 into 3 plus 1 by 2 into 5 plus 1 by 3 into 5 is the second set of numbers. And then the third set of numbers, that is this, is going to be capital N by 2 into 3 into 5. So if you make, by plugging in the value of capital N, if you make this calculation, what would it give you? Number of numbers that are not co-prime with n. And from capital N, if I remove this, I'll get the number of numbers that are co-prime with n. So number of numbers co-prime with n would be capital N minus n, those that are divisible by 2 or 3 or 5. This would give me the number of numbers that are not co-prime with n. This is the total number of numbers. Then I'll get the number of numbers that are co-prime with n or relatively prime with n, right? So this is like, if I plug in this, then I get n into 1 minus half plus 1/3 plus 1/5 plus 1 by 2 into 3 plus 1 by 3 into 5 plus 1 by 5 into 2, this one, minus 1 by 2 into 3 into 5. Yes or no? This is what I get. Actually, this could be factorized as follows. This entire expression actually is the following: 1 minus half, 1 minus 1/3, 1 minus 1 by 5. See, check this out. 1 into 1 into 1, this one. Now where do you get this minus half? Minus half into 1 into 1. Where do you get this minus 1/3? Minus 1/3 into 1 into 1. Where do you get this minus 1/5? Minus 1 by 5 into 1 into 1. Then plus 1 by 2 into 3. Where do you get that from? Minus half into minus 1/3, 1 by 2 into 3 into plus 1. Where do you get this 1 by 3 into 5? Minus 1/3 into minus 1/5 into 1 will give me this. 1 by 5 into 2, where do you get that from? Minus half into minus 5 into 1. And where do you get this minus 1 by 2 into 3 into 5? Minus half into minus 1/3 into minus 1/5 will give you this last term. Yes or no? Do you see that? Right? So this would give you the number of numbers that are co-prime with capital N, right? If I had to generalize matters here, see, this 2, 3, 5 are these factors. 2, 3, 5 are these factors, right? That means prime factors 2, 3, 5. 2, 3, 5. If I had to generalize matters here for any natural number n, can I wipe this off? That means n, suppose, has prime factors p1 to power alpha 1, p2 to power alpha 2, p3 to power alpha 3, pk to power alpha k are the prime factors of n. p1 to power alpha 1, p2 to power alpha 2, p3 to power alpha 3, pk to power alpha k. p1, p2, p3, pk are prime factors of n. These are the prime factors of n. Then number of numbers co-prime with n up to n co-prime with n will be n into 1 minus 1 by p1 into 1 minus 1 by p2, 1 minus 1 by pk. would be the number of numbers up to n that are co-prime with n. Right? So a result that you must again remember. A result that you must remember. Okay. It's come here, capital N. These powers have come here. See, this would be P1 to power alpha 1. Those powers have come here. आ गया है सब यहाँ पे. Right? Got me? So far so good, right? Not a problem. So again, a very powerful application of the principle of inclusion and exclusion, right? Now, another problem. Now, this one is not an application of principle of inclusion and exclusion, but another problem in counting that you must take cognizance of is the following. Hey, Kushal, very sleepy, kya? Why? Kids bothered you all night. Huh? Oh, Children's Day. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, God, oh, God. How could I miss out on that? I shouldn't have kept a class given your state. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. तो कल तो सारा रात जगा ना, बच्चे लोग खोपड़ी पे बैठे रहे, परेशान किए, तो उसका इफेक्ट तो एक दिन बाद ही होता है ना. Now, given two natural numbers, a and b, how many LCMs do they have? Man, why are you hesitant in saying that? Right? If I give you two numbers a and b, then LCM of a and b is n is unique. Unique LCM two numbers have, right? But if I give you n, then how many pairs of a and b will have their LCM n is not unique. Given a and b, there is only one LCM that they could have. But given n, the number of pairs a and b whose LCM is n is not unique, is not necessarily unique. For example, if I say n is 6, now how many pairs will have an LCM? Say, let me for the time being look upon a and b as different. Right? So 2 and 3, only for the heck of it, then we'll balance that count later on. LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. LCM of a equal to 3, b equal to 2 is 6. LCM of 1 and 6 is 6. LCM of 6 and 1 is 1. Yes or no? 3 and 6 is 1, and so on, so is all 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Right? So the pair AB is not unique. And to begin with, when we want to carry this count, we will look upon 2, 3 different from 3, 2, 1, 6 different from 6, 1, 6, 3 different from 3, 6, and so on and so forth. Right? So given n, this pair, ordered pair AB, so we are seeking to find ordered pairs AB, so that I could consider 2, 3 to be different from 3, 2, right? So I want to find number of ordered pairs AB whose LCM is n. That's my objective now. I want to carry out a count of ordered pairs AB whose LCM is a given number n. All right. Now, some simple things. First of all, any number, given a number n, you are potentially capable of representing it as product of powers of primes, right? Say I have a number n which turns out to be, say, 2 to the power 4, 3 to the power 5, 7 cubed, suppose, is a certain number. This is a certain number, say. All right. I want to find the number of ordered pairs A and B. Such that LCM of A and B is n. This number n. All right. Clear? Now, if the LCM of A and B is n, do you realize that A and B must share the same prime factors with n? Which is to say that A, for example, must be of the form some 2 to the power alpha 1, 3 to the power alpha 2, 7 to the power alpha 3, and B must be, say, 2 to the power beta 1, 3 to the power beta 2, 7 to the power beta 3. Do you realize that both A and B must be of the same form? For if they had, even if one of them had some other factor, say if this had another factor, say 5 to the power alpha 4, then when you find their LCM, then this will include a 5 to the power alpha 4. That means the LCM of A and B then will be a multiple of 5, but n is not a multiple of 5. Right? So, for sure, the prime factors of A and B must be the same as the prime factors of n. Is this disputed or is this accepted? The prime factors of A and B must be the same as prime factors of n if the LCM of A and B is n. Right, Kushal? Huh? Yeah, tell me. What? Foot up. Come on, yeah. Why is he doing that in the class? No, I'm inundated with ideas, but that will disturb the whole train of thought. But let me see if I can find few moments at the end of the class to get really floral about this communication. But coming back to this. Now, look. If the LCM of A and B is n, these two, some simple things, very simple things. Between alpha and beta, alpha 1 and beta 1, the larger of the two must be 4. Yes or no? Between alpha 2 and beta 2, the larger of the two must be 5. Between alpha 3 and beta 3, the larger of the two must be 3. That's okay. The larger of the two must be 3, right? Yes or no? That means between alpha 1 and beta 1, one of them must be 4. The other one could be 4 or less than 4. It could also be 0. Between alpha 2 and beta 2, one of them must be 5. The other one could be anywhere from 0 to 5. Between alpha 3 and beta 3, one must be 3. The other one can be anywhere from 0 to 3. Yes or no? Yes, Are you all right with this? Yes. No? I'll repeat. Okay. Suppose I have A as some 2 cube, 3 to the power 4, B as 2 to the power 5, 3 to the power 7. Oh, okay. Suppose, what is then the LCM of A and B? Will it give you 2 to the power 4 then? Naina? That's why. So one of them has to be 4. He's saying, why is it that this can't be 3 and this be 2? Then on taking the LCM, it will be 2 cubed that you will get, not 2 to the power 4. So one of them has to be 4. Isn't it? Right? Yes or no? Yes, sir. Okay. Now, finding the number of ordered pairs. Finding the number of ordered pairs is about what? It's about finding the number of ways in which a choice of alpha 1, beta 1 be made such that one of them is 4, the other one could be less than 4. And selecting alpha 2, beta 2 such that one of them is 5, the other can be 5 or less. And then selecting alpha 3, beta 3 where one of them is 3 and the other one could be anywhere from 0 to 3. Finding the number of ordered pairs is about finding suitable alpha 1 and beta 1 and number of ways in which alpha 2 and beta 2 be selected and number of ways in which alpha 3, beta 3 be selected. Would be the number of ordered pairs AB, yes or no? Yes, sir. Now, let's see in how many ways can alpha 1, beta 1 be selected such that the larger of alpha 1, beta 1 is 4. Such that the larger of alpha 1 and beta 1 is 4. Let me see in how many ways alpha 1, beta 1 be selected such that maximum means larger of alpha 1 and beta 1 is 4. Clear? Now, realize that suppose alpha 1 is 4. One of them has to be 4. It could be alpha 1 or beta 1 or both. Suppose alpha 1 is 4. Then what are the values that beta 1 could assume? 4. That means how many sets of alpha 1, beta 1? 4, 0, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4, 5 sets. So this would, when alpha 1 is 4, then 5 pairs of alpha 1, beta 1 could be selected. Then 5 pairs of alpha 1, beta 1 could be selected. Right? Suppose beta 1 is 4. Then alpha 1 could be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes or no? Again, how many pairs of alpha 1, beta 1? 5 pairs of alpha 1, beta 1 can be selected. 5 pairs of alpha 1, beta 1 be selected. Yes or no? Yes. So there are 10 pairs of alpha 1, beta 1 selected in which I have a 4, 4 coming here and a 4, 4 coming here again. So that means that 4, 4 has come twice. I must remove it once. So there are 10 ways of selecting alpha 1, beta 1. From where I must remove the intersection of these two. That means one case where this will give me 4, 4 as alpha 1, beta 1. This will give me 4, 4 as alpha 1, beta 1. So that has been included twice. Both equal to 4 have been included twice, but it should be included only once. So I should subtract 1. Yes or no? Yes, sir. So then the number of ordered alpha 1, beta 1, number of ordered alpha 1, beta 1 is 5 plus 5 minus 1. That means 9 pairs of ordered alpha 1, beta 1 can be selected. See, why am I selecting ordered alpha 1, beta 1? Because I am looking upon AB different from BA. That's why number of ordered alpha 1, beta 1 into number of ordered alpha 2, beta 2 that could be selected into number of ordered alpha 3, beta 3 that could be selected is what I am seeking. How's that? So then number of ways in which alpha 1, beta 1 be selected is 9. Similarly, maximum of alpha 2, beta 2 would be what? 5. The larger of alpha 2 beta 2, larger of alpha 2 beta 2 powers of 3 must be 5. That means, yes, 11 ways. 11 ways is what you will find. You can check that out. That means this would give me number of cases, number of ordered alpha 2 beta 2. See, this is actually 2 into 4 plus 1. Number of ordered alpha 2 beta 2 would be 2 into 5 plus 1. That makes it 11 ways in which an ordered alpha 2 beta 2 could be selected, right? Similarly, what is the larger of alpha 3 and beta 3? 3. So, number of ordered alpha 3 beta 3 that can come up is 2 into 3 plus 1. That makes it 7. Suppose alpha 2 is 5. Beta 2 can have 5 values, 6 values, 6 values, right? If beta 2 is 5, alpha 2 can have 6 values. So that makes it 12. But there is one case, 5 comma 5 appearing here and 5 comma 5 appearing here. So 12 minus 1, that makes it 11. So then, so the written by this way. Okay. Not an issue. Suppose I had an equation to solve like this. Maximum of, say, T1, T2 is some alpha. Maximum T1, T2 is some alpha, right? Where the same conditions, they are whole numbers, right? So when T1 is alpha, T2 can assume how many values? Alpha plus 1 values, right? When T2 is alpha, how many values that T2 can assume, T1 can assume? Alpha plus 1 values that, right? Now, that means total number of values are 2 into alpha plus 1 values. But I subtract that one case where, see, T1 equal to alpha appears here and T2 equal to alpha appears there. T2 equal to alpha appears here and T1 equal to alpha appears there. That means that alpha has appeared twice. So from 2 into alpha plus 1, I subtract 1. So that makes it 2 alpha plus 1. Isn't it? So 2 into 5 plus 1. 2 into 4 plus 1. The last one would be 2 into 3 plus 1. That's why. Right? So the number of solutions to maximum of T1, T2 equal to alpha is going to be 2 alpha plus 1 solutions. Yes or no? Are you confused? No? Therefore, number of ordered pairs AB is what? Number of ordered alpha 1 beta 1 that could be selected into number of ordered alpha 2 beta 2 that could be selected into number of ordered alpha 3 beta 3 that could be selected, right? This would give me the number of ordered pairs A and B. No, ordered, because I don't have to divide this by 2. AB is looked upon different as BA, so both will be included. LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. I'm including the case where A is 2, B is 3, and vice versa. LCM of 3 and 2 is looked upon different as LCM of 2 and 3. These are looked upon as two different sets. Ordered means AB will be different from B. So if I select two numbers, 2 and 3 whose LCM is 6, then choice of 2, 3 will be different from choice of 3, 2. That's when I say there is order which is important. So that's when I'll only multiply this. I don't have to divide, right? So number of ordered pairs alpha 1 beta 1, what did that turn out to be? 9. 2 into 4 plus 1, 9. And then 2 into 5 plus 1, 11. And then 2 into 3 plus 1, that makes it 7. These many ordered pairs, A and B, whose LCM is that number n, yes or no? Right? Now. In these many ordered pairs, 9 into 11 into 7. Can I wipe this off? Let me also teach something here. See, these many ordered pairs. How many ordered pairs? 9 into 11 into 7. These many ordered pairs are there. Right? Now, these many cases of selection of A and B, these many pairs of A and B that could be selected, whose LCM is n. Now, they include two kinds of things. One, there is a case, one, in which A and B both equal to n has come once. N comma n, that has come only once. There is a pair n comma n whose LCM is n, that has come only once in this count. In this count, there is one choice of A and B where A is B is n. Yes or no? One choice of this kind where A and B both are equal to n. Remember when I got alpha 1 equal to 4 and beta 1 equal to 4 appearing twice, I removed it once. So that n comma n appears only once in this count. These many pairs in which a pair n comma n has appeared only once. But the rest of the pairs have each appeared twice. That means if 2, 3 has appeared, then 3, 2 has also appeared. Yes or no? Then there are rest in which, say, PQ, if there is a P1, Q1, that means A is P1 and B is Q1 has come, then there is A as Q1 and B as P1 has also come. Right? If there is A as R1 and B as S1 that has come, then there is A as S1 and B as R1 that has come. Yes or no? Right? And these pairs are even in numbers because for every PQ there is a QP. Right? These are even numbers. These are even number of pairs. Because for every PQ there would be a QP. For every RS there would be a SR and so on and so forth. Even number of pairs. Yes or no? Right? But n comma n has appeared only once. Now if someone tells you that, look, I'm going to look upon P1 Q1 same as Q1 P1. I'm going to look upon R1 S1 same as S1 R1. Right? That means the order is not important. If I say LCM of 2 and 3 is 6, then 2, 3 will be looked upon same as 3, 2, suppose. Right? Then, how many pairs if the order is not important is the important thing? No. What I do is, from this count, 9 into 11 into 7 is the total number of pairs, in which there are an even number of pairs of this kind and there is one number of this kind. Right? Now from these many pairs, if I remove this one pair, if from these many pairs of A and B, ordered pairs of A and B, these many ordered pairs A and B whose LCM is n, of which there is one pair n comma n. First I remove that one pair. I'll restore it later on because n comma n is also a case where A is n and B is n is relevant. Right? I remove that one case where A is n and B is n, this case. Then the rest will be these many cases. And they have to be even in number, as you can see. This is odd minus 1. That's even. That will give me all these cases, these many pairs. But I know I need only half of these pairs. So I divide by 2. And then the one case that I removed, I restore. These would be the number of pairs A and B. I'll repeat kya? Dekho. Did you understand everything till this point? I said number of number of pairs of A and B whose LCM is n, where AB, number of ordered pairs of A and B, such that LCM of A and B is n. Now when I did that, then I looked upon a pair AB different from a pair BA, right? Now in these many pairs, there was one pair of this kind where A and B were both equal to n and their LCM was n. That choice was made only once, right? The rest of the pairs were each of the following kind: P1 Q1, Q1 P1, Q2 P2, P2 Q2, Q3 P3, P3 Q3. They were even number of pairs. One pair, two pair. Because for every PQ, there would be a QP. Okay. Now, I don't need all of them. What I do is, from these many pairs, which is one pair here and a certain number of pairs, even number of pairs there. From these many pairs, I remove this one case first. If I remove this one case, then I get all these remaining cases. So 9 into 11 into 7 on removal of this one case will give me these many pairs. But I don't need all of them. I need only half of them if the order is not important, right? If order not important, then I wouldn't distinguish between P1 Q1 and Q1 P1. So I remove this one case and the rest I divide by 2. So I have suppressed Q1 P1, I have suppressed S1 R1 and so on and so forth, right? Then each would appear only once on dividing by 2. But then, you know, for no reason for some reason, of course, I remove this one case. So I need to restore this case back. Yes or no? So this would give me if order not important, then number of pairs A and B whose LCM is n is these many cases, Same thing. I mean, this was the logic. I'm not talking about the computation. Yes, because you are adding this case. See, either way, you can add this case once so that this case also appears twice. And then divide by 2. That's the logic. Fine. No argument on that, right? I mean, what he's saying is, in these, this was appearing once. Add it once so that now all these pairs have appeared twice and then divide by 2. This is okay. Perfect. Now, in a very general sense then, so this would be like 9 into 11 into 7 plus 1 by 2. Number of ordered pairs. Number of non-ordered pairs. If I simply had to talk of ordered pairs, then this would be simply 9 into 11 into 7. Got me? Now, just to put everything in perspective in a generalized frame, can I wipe this off? Suppose I had a number n which is P1 to power alpha 1 into P2 to power alpha 2 into P3 to power alpha 3 into Pk to power alpha k, where P1, P2, P3, Pk are prime factors of n, right? Then number of ordered pairs AB whose LCM is n is 2 alpha 1 plus 1 into 2 alpha 2 plus 1 into 2 alpha k plus 1 would be the number of ordered pairs A and B, right? Number of pairs AB when order not important is 2 alpha 1 plus 1, 2 alpha 2 plus 1 into 2 alpha k plus 1 by 2. If the order is not important, the count is suppressed by doing this. No? So A1, A2, A3. Again, you will have to use, in that case, you will have to use principle of inclusion, exclusion. We'll get a lot more elaborate. Yes, A1, A2, A2, A3, A1, A3, all you'll have to use. In which case, see, or even without that, see, then it's not a difficult problem. See, suppose there are three numbers whose LCM is n, LCM of ABC is n. They'll have the same prime factors. So say it was 2 to the power alpha 1. Then maximum of alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 will be 3. So then if alpha 1, so you'll have to then find all cases where one of them is 3, the other one can be anywhere from 0 to 3, 0 to 3, so 4, 4, 8. 8 cases, isn't it? That is what you'll have to do for each of the ABC. You can do that for any number of numbers. You got my point now? That's what you need to do if there are 3. K does not matter, it will still be the same. Sorry? No. What, these numbers? This? Sorry, I couldn't get you. Can you please repeat your question? Suppose K is even. Yes, so what? Does not matter. Array, you're saying these factors would be even in numbers, but each one of them is an odd number, isn't it? So product of an even number of odd numbers will still be odd, isn't it? That will not change. Got me, na? So far so good, right?